Hello everyone, and since today is Halloween week, and if you're wondering why I'm facing the hallway, I wanted to have a setting I've never had in a video before. This is one I've never had, at least I've never had a full video in this hallway, so I'm going to have a full video in this hallway. And I'm going to have another top 10, well this isn't top 10, but I'm going to have a top 10 tomorrow. But it's also going to be in this hallway. Anyways, top 13 horror movies. These are my opinions. So if you hate one of these movies, then, just whatever. And if there's a movie you saw, and I haven't seen every horror movie ever made, so if there's a movie you saw that should have been on this list, then I probably haven't seen it yet. Or, something else. And also, I haven't seen, Also, you haven't seen every horror movie ever made, so there may be some things on this list you've never heard of before. In fact, I can most likely... no, I can't guarantee you won't know what everything is, but, maybe you might not know what one thing is or something. I don't know. But these are my top 13 favorite horror movies. These are my opinions. I'm not basing them off of which is the best movie. I'm basing them off of which one I get the most enjoyment out of watching. And to me, that's what matters in a movie. So, number 13. Alright, so I actually got the name of this movie wrong when I first reviewed it. This movie is called The Den, not whatever the fuck I called it. Don't ask. It's The Den. It's basically like Unfriended. The movie that came out like last year, but done a lot better. I liked Unfriended, but pun intended, liked Unfriended. Anywho's, The Den was done a lot better. It was done more effectively. It was done more psychologically, and it was just all around a better movie. It creeped me out more at strange moments. And, yeah, it was creepy, weird, strange, and, yeah, and involves computers and Skype. Okay, one more thing is I recorded this before I updated this list. I actually put a home invasion movie at number 13. Then I changed it and then got the name wrong to what the previous movie was in that slot was. So when I say put another home invasion movie on the slot, it's because originally number 13 it was another home invasion movie. So that's what I mean by that, and go back to enjoying the top 10 list. Bye. The Strangers, yet another home invasion movie. This is the last home invasion movie. I only put 2 on this list, and the reason I put them so low is because I do like home invasion movies because... I find home invasion movies creepy. I don't know why. I guess I just like that subgenre, I guess. But I really like the subgenre because, I don't know, mainly because when I was a little kid, and I used to, since I was homeschooled, I could just stay up all night and do shit like that. So I would always, some nights I would get scared because I thought someone was gonna invade into the home. So I think that's why I find those kinds of movies scary, is because when I was a kid, that's what I found scary. So, I think that's why I enjoyed the genre so much. But this is the last home invasion movie, yes, last home invasion movies. Number 11 is REC, R-E-C, how the fuck do you say that? They did an American remake of this movie. I believe it was called Quarantine or something like that. I saw it. It's not good. It's not that good. I mean, it's okay, I guess. But this one was really fucking good. I don't want to spoil anything about this movie for you because I did not know absolutely anything going into watching this movie. I think it's on Netflix, but I first saw it on DVD. It was Halloween when I was like a little kid. One of the first horror movies I ever saw. I bought the DVD, and I didn't know anything about the movie. Didn't even read the back cover. I just watched it and put it in, and I want to give you the same experience as me going in, knowing nothing about it, except, obviously that I put it on this top 13 list. So just go into it knowing nothing. I mean, you could go into it. It's not like a movie where if you go into it, knowing too much, it'll ruin it. It's not gonna ruin the movie if you know what the plot is, but I just want to give you the same experience I got with this movie. So yeah. Number 10 is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Technically, I'm cheating because this is more of a horror comedy, but it's fine. I still count it because I fucking love this movie. It's basically, how do I describe Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Well, again, with a lot of these movies, I don't really want to spoil too much, but it's basically a movie about a series of misunderstandings, and wow, fuck, how do I put this? It's if you like horror movies and you like movies that make fun of horror movies, but I don't know, it makes fun of horror movies, but it still is a horror movie, and I like that about it. And it still is a comedy. It's definitely a comedy, and it's still definitely a horror movie. It's not like some people called the original Scary Movie a horror comedy when it had no elements of horror. It was just comedy, which is fine, but just label it right. This movie is definitely a horror comedy. You know, so they have elements of both in this movie. And it was a pretty good movie. It's on Netflix. I know this is on Netflix because, yeah, I rewatched it recently. And it was pretty good. If you have Netflix, go watch it. If you don't have Netflix, go buy it on DVD or do whatever you need to do. You know, do that for all these movies because all these movies are really worth watching. You know, so, yeah. Number 9 is Halloween 2. I reviewed this last year in Halloween week. And yeah, I love the Halloween movies. I don't know why. It's just I always like these movies more than the Friday the 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Streets because I like the concept of what's the word? I guess again with the reason I put The Strangers over the because it's in a suburban neighborhood, whereas Nightmare on Elm Street, it is in a suburban neighborhood, but it's in their dreams, so you don't really get to see it that much. And Friday the 13th, it's in a camp. So I think that's why I like the Halloween movies so much, is because, again, it's in a suburban kind of neighborhood. And, you know, and I don't know why. I guess I can relate to that more, and it scares me more. But it's a perfect ending to the cliffhanger of the first movie. And, yeah, it's really good. Obviously, you should probably see the first movie before watching this one, or else you won't understand. Yeah, Halloween 2. Number 8, Night of the Living Dead. Now, you may be complaining that this movie isn't really scary by today's standards. I don't know, was there a remake of this movie? I'm trying to think if there was a remake. I'm talking about the original, if there was a remake. I don't know if there was a remake or not. I feel like was. But Night of the Living Dead, it's not really scary by today's standards because we've seen more zombie movies, but this was the original. Well, it wasn't the original zombie movie. It was the one that made zombies into what they are, basically. It made them so popular. And you can see why. It's good, it's psychological, it's really good. It's good, it's psychological, it's really good. Yeah, those are amazing points. Anyways, yeah, and it's not really scary by today's standards, but it's very entertaining to watch. It's very, like, it delves into the minds, and you can see the people going insane and shit when they have to lock themselves in close quarters with each other for a while. And yeah, and it's a really good movie, and it started the whole zombie craze. So every bad zombie movie and every good zombie movie you can attribute to this movie. So yeah. Number 7 is Let the Right One In, not Let Me In. That was the American remake, Let the Right One In. There's 2 different versions. I saw both of them. I like this one a lot better because in the American version, I don't know why. It's just the American version seemed a lot more cliche to me, and I don't know. This one seemed more a bit more original and a bit more scary. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I just like this one a lot more than the American version. I've seen both, and I think this one's a lot scarier. So it's a foreign movie. They made the remake in English, but it's totally worth. It's worth watching. It's well shot, well acted, and well everything basically. So let the right one in. Yeah. Number 6 is Alien. Um, Number 6 is Alien. I love the idea of being stuck in a confined area with something that's, going to kill you, basically. I wanted to put more of those things in this list, but I feel like there aren't that many good movies that pulled off the concept. Like, The Descent was a good one that pulled off the concept, but I didn't think it was good enough to make the top 13. And, there was some good ones that have the being stuck in a small area with something that's going to kill you. But, it doesn't work. This is why I was so disappointed in the movie Devil that came out a few years ago. I like the idea of it's 6 people trapped in a room with a killer, killing them. I like the idea of being, like, stuck. That's a good idea, good concept for a movie. So it was a huge disappointment when the movie came out and it was in jelly side down. So anyways, this movie really pulls off the feeling of being This movie really pulls off the feeling of being alone with something that's out to kill you and trying to escape. And you don't really know what it looks like until, like, near the end. Of course, everyone knows what the alien looks like now, but back then people didn't. And if you don't know what the alien from Alien looks like somehow, then definitely see this movie. This is a good movie to figure out what it looks like in. So, Alien. Yeah. Number 5 is The Thing. I really also like this movie because if you don't know the premise, I haven't really gone over the premises for any of these movies because I want you to go into them just not really knowing anything, just knowing that they're worth seeing. But I'll go over the premise for this one because this is a really good premise. Basically, they're in, like, I forgot exactly where it was. I think it's in the Antarctic, and they discovered some alien life form, basically. And it's a shapeshifter, meaning it can turn into any members of the crew. They did a parody of this in Futurama. If you've seen the Futurama episode, they did a parody of it with the shape-shifting alien. But this was the original movie. The 1980 version, there was an older version. The 1980s one is the one I'm talking about. But basically, there's a shape-shifting alien. It can take on the form of any human, and there's a bunch of people, so they're trying to work out who it is and try not to be killed. And it can take the form of anyone. And it can change rapidly. And the ambiguous ending is amazing. I love the ending so much. And wow, we're already this is in the top 5. Holy shit. Number 4, The Omen. This one scared the shit out of me, and it still does. This one, just for the creep factor, yeah, I don't really think I need to say any more. This one really fucking creeped me out as a kid, and it still kind of creeps me out today, so I'm probably just a gigantic pussy, but, yeah, The Omen. I'm not gonna go over this premise, fuck that. Number 3 is a more recent one, but number 3 and 2 are actually pretty recent. But number 1, I make up for it back with number 1 because it's an older movie, and it's not recent. But anyways, number 3 is Oculus. It came out last year, and it was really good premise, really good execution, really good everything basically, and it has an ingenious way of making you think of what's really going on, and it keeps you guessing. I'm not going to go over the premise because, like I said, The Thing was a good premise. I wanted to go over it. But I'm only going to do that when the premise is that good. And a lot of people don't know the premise. But since this one's recent, you probably know the premise. And if you don't, just watch the movie because it's good. So, yeah. Number 2, I hate to fucking hype this movie up more than I already have. Because I've hyped this movie so much to the point where it's probably not going to be as good. If you haven't seen this movie already, and then you probably actually shouldn't see it. Because I've hyped this movie up too much. I really like this movie, but don't believe the hype, because this movie got so much fucking hype. And yeah, I mean, it was a good movie, but it didn't deserve it. It didn't deserve all this, oh my god, it's so amazing. But it's definitely worth seeing. It's on Netflix. I did a review of this, and I hate to bring it up again. And it's Cabin in the Woods. Now, when people, when hype can kill any movie. Hype can kill any fucking movie. And when people hear a lot of hype for a movie, they either A, look for things to point out wrong with it so they can say it's bad, or B, go in with ridiculously high expectations and then just kind of think the movie's shit when it doesn't meet them. So that's either one of the two things that happens when people hype a movie too much. And I hated having to hype this movie up more than I already have, but I couldn't leave it off this list. I could not leave it off this list. I would have hated myself either way. This is a lose-lose situation, basically. So, Cabin in the Woods. See it, but if you think the movie's gonna suck, wait for the hype to die down. If you think the movie it's not gonna live up to the hype, wait for the hype to die down. Wait a few years and then see it. But if you haven't heard of this movie, you haven't heard the hype or anything, just watch it. It's fun. It's a good movie. So, yeah. Number 1. Okay, number 1. I don't know why this is my favorite, but when I did this list, this was the first movie that came to my mind. And I reviewed this movie already. It's the original Halloween. The original Halloween. And, I think this movie is just amazing. I don't know why, it's just the execution. It's a slasher movie, which I love slasher movies. I do like the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street series. Even though I didn't put them on this list, I do enjoy them. But I enjoy Halloween more because it's thoughtful with its, execution and shit like that. Has good cliffhanger. And, yeah, it's just pretty good. This was my first review, in the first Halloween week, Halloween 1. I think I said it was one of my favorite horror movies, but the more and more I thought about it, it's my favorite horror movie. I just enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It's just, I don't know why, I just really enjoy this movie. Probably because, again, when I was a kid, I used to, be scared, of what's outside, because I used to stay up late because I was homeschooled. So, I think it really tapped into the fear, and this was the first movie I saw. I saw this movie before The Strangers, obviously before Halloween 2, saw this movie before any of them, and this is number 1. I don't know why, it just is. It's my favorite horror movie. Leave your favorite horror movie in the comments down below. Leave why you like it. Leave your favorite horror movie. Leave why you think it's your favorite. Why you think it's your favorite horror. Why it's your favorite horror movie. Leave a like if you enjoyed this list, and I will see you next time. Subscribe for the rest of Halloween week. Bye.